Something happened in the American housing market in the spring of 2026 that had never happened before. For the first time in recent history, builders across the United States began cutting prices on new construction, not in one city, not in one state, but as a documented national trend. Realtor.com flagged it in April. The data is now confirmed across 4 states and 10 markets. And if you have been watching this market waiting for the math to finally shift, this video is the answer you have been looking for. These are the 10 cities where builders are already losing. Stay until number 1. You will want to see the data on Indianapolis. Drive south toward Charlotte on a clear Carolina morning, and the city greets you with ambition. Glass towers cut the skyline. New subdivisions stretch into the Piedmont Hills, each one announcing itself with a banner, "Move in ready, now selling." The streets are freshly paved, the model homes are lit, the parking lots are nearly empty. But here is what the real estate agents are not showing you. According to Realtor.com's February 2026 quarterly new construction report, 21.3% of all new home listings in North Carolina now carry a price reduction. 1 in 5 brand new houses is already on sale. 3 years ago, builders in this market had waiting lists. Here is why. These Charlotte subdivisions broke ground when mortgage rates sat near 3%. By the time the foundations cured and the roofs went on, rates had crossed 6.5%. The buyers who could afford the monthly payment at 3% cannot make that math work at 6.5%. Builders know it. Now they are cutting. A growing number of buyers who closed on new construction in the Charlotte metro between 2022 and 2023 are now watching the builder across the street sell the identical floor plan for $15,000 to $20,000 less, with a mortgage rate buy-down included. Same square footage, same granite countertops. Better deal for someone else. If you bought a new Charlotte home in 2022, here is what happened to your money. The builder who handed you the keys at full asking price is now offering your new neighbor a buy-down package worth the equivalent of $15,000 in purchasing power. You paid full price. Your neighbor did not. If the builder next door is selling your same floor plan for less right now, what exactly did you pay a premium for? Head northwest out of Minneapolis on Interstate 94, and within 30 minutes, the city gives way to open farmland water towers and freshly poured concrete. Rogers, Minnesota, one of the outer ring suburbs that Twin Cities real estate developers spent years calling the next great opportunity. Affordable acreage, good schools, a short drive from everything. But here's what the real estate agents are not showing you. Minnesota carries one of the highest new home price reduction rates in the entire country, 21.6%, according to Realtor.com's 2026 new construction analysis. In Rogers, specifically builders who were selling homes off floor plans in 2022 are now competing with each other on discounts, incentive packages, and design center credits just to move existing inventory. The outer ring suburbs of Minneapolis were built on a straightforward bet that remote work would hold, that young families would keep moving outward, and that rates would come back down. None of those bets fully paid off. Remote work policies tightened across corporate America, rates stayed elevated, and the pipeline of new homes kept delivering into a market that had quietly cooled. A growing number of Rogers buyers who locked in prices in 2022 are now watching builders offer new purchasers rate buydowns of 1 to 1.5 points, design center credits, and HOA dues covered for 60 days. None of that was available when they signed. The goalposts moved. They were already on the field. If you bought a new Rogers home in 2022, here is what happened to your money. The incentive gap between what you received and what buyers are receiving today in this same submarket is running $15,000 to $20,000 per transaction, according to builder offer data tracked across the Twin Cities metro. If Minnesota was supposed to be the stable, affordable Midwest market, what does 1 in 5 new homes needing a price cut actually mean for yours? Drive south from Minneapolis through Apple Valley and into Lakeville, and the landscape shifts into something more deliberate: wide lots. Lake views, cul-de-sacs named Stonebridge Circle and Heritage Run. This was the family suburb, the one that sold itself as the reward for working hard. Get out of the city, buy the good house, keep the equity. But here is what the real estate agents are not showing you. Lakeville was named directly in Realtor.com's 2026 new construction analysis as one of the Twin Cities submarkets experiencing active builder incentive pressure. Minnesota's new home price reduction rate, 21.6%, matches South Carolina exactly. Almost everyone expected South Carolina to have problems. Almost no one expected the same from Lakeville. During the pandemic housing boom, Lakeville became one of the most active new construction markets in the entire Twin Cities metro. Builders permitted aggressively. Buyers moved quickly. But when the Federal Reserve's rate hikes turned a reasonable mortgage into a punishing one, the demand that had powered Lakeville's expansion quietly walked out the door. A growing number of Lakeville buyers from 2021 and 2022 are now seeing a market where their resale listings sit longer than new builds, and where the new builds are being sold with incentive packages those original buyers never received. The builder who once ran a 6-month waitlist is now offering a free upgrade package just to close a deal. If you bought a new Lakeville home in 2021 or 2022, here is what happened to your money. Builders in this submarket are currently offering new buyers package incentives, rate, buy-downs, design credits, and HOA coverage that represent $15,000 to $25,000 in effective value that did not exist when you signed your contract. The mortgage you signed for that Lakeville home assumed values would hold. They have not held. So what exactly is your exit plan? Drive into Fort Wayne on a gray Midwest morning, and the city looks exactly like what it always promised: modest, functional, affordable. The kind of place where a working family could still buy a house without needing 2 incomes and a prayer. New subdivisions line the eastern corridors. The for sale signs are multiple. The sold stickers are not. But here is what the real estate agents are not showing you. Indiana posted the second highest rate of new home price reductions in the entire country, 23.3%, according to Realtor.com's February 2026 new construction analysis. Nearly 1 in 4 brand new homes in this state has already been marked down. And Fort Wayne, as Indiana's second largest metro, sits directly inside that correction. Indiana's problem is a convergence that hit at the worst possible moment. Builders overbuilt during the low-rate era. Rates then doubled. And according to the Indiana Business Research Center, homeownership costs in the Indianapolis metro reached 36% of median household income by September 2025, crossing the 30% threshold that economists define as unaffordable. Fort Wayne is running the same math, on a smaller budget. A growing number of Fort Wayne buyers who purchased new construction in 2022 and 2023 are now watching builders in their own subdivisions offer the identical floor plan with $10,000 to $15,000 in buyer incentives, closing cost assistance, design center credits, and rate buydowns. Those offers did not exist when those original buyers signed. They are watching the discount arrive for someone else. If you bought a new Fort Wayne home in 2022, here is what happened to your money. According to regional builder data, Indiana's top markets are seeing new home list price reductions averaging 5% on top of incentive packages worth $10,000 to $25,000 per transaction. The buyers who came after you got a better deal. The market just did not tell you it was coming. Indiana just posted the second highest new home price cut rate in America. Fort Wayne is in Indiana. At what point does that state-level statistic become your personal one? Cross into Nevada on Interstate 80, and the Sierra Nevada mountains drop behind you like a stage curtain. Reno opens in the valley below. The neon signs, the casino marquees, the ring of new subdivisions that earned it the nickname, the affordable Silicon Valley. Remote workers came here for the tax break. Tech employees came for the space. Builders came for the margins. But here is what the real estate agents are not showing you. Nevada leads the entire nation in new home price reductions, 25% of all new home listings, the single highest rate of any state, according to Realtor.com's February 2026 new construction report. That is 1 in 4 brand new homes already marked down. And Reno, as Nevada's second largest metro, is absorbing its share of that correction without the casino money to cushion the fall. Reno's boom was built almost entirely on California migration, remote workers, and Bay Area tech employees fleeing high taxes and expensive housing for Nevada's zero income tax and cheaper land. By 2026, that migration wave has slowed sharply. The builders who broke ground for those transplants are still finishing and delivering homes into a market where the original buyer base has largely moved on. A growing number of buyers who relocated from California to Reno in 2021 and 2022 are now finding that their home's resale value is being undercut directly by builder discounts on newer inventory nearby. According to home builders research data cited by Vegas Inc. builders across Nevada, are currently offering more than 65% of new transactions with active incentive packages, the highest rate since the 2018 to 2019 market cycle. If you bought a new Reno home in 2021 or 2022, here is what happened to your money. The builder down the road is now closing deals with rate buy-downs and closing cost coverage that represent $15,000 or more in effective purchasing power. You arrived before the discounts. Your neighbor arrived after. Only one of you got the better deal. You were told Reno was the affordable version of California. What does it mean when 1 in 4 brand new homes here needs a price cut just to find a buyer? If this is hitting close to home, hit subscribe. We cover these markets every week so you can stay ahead of what is coming. Drive north out of Indianapolis on Meridian Street, and Carmel announces itself with quiet confidence roundabouts instead of traffic lights, a world-class arts district, and new home communities with starting prices north of $400,000. This is the suburb that believed it had cracked the formula. High incomes, strong schools, prestige location, recession-proof. But here is what the real estate agents are not showing you. According to Indianapolis area market reporting builders in the Carmel and Fishers corridor, Hendricks County's premium new construction zone are now offering $10,000 to $30,000 in buyer incentives on listings that required no incentives 2 years ago. Indiana is the second highest state in the country for new home price reductions at 23.3%, according to Realtor.com's February 2026 new construction analysis. The premium suburbs are not immune, they are just the last to admit it. Here is why. According to the Indiana Business Research Center, homeownership costs in the Indianapolis metro reached 36% of median household income by September 2025. That crossed the 30% threshold that economists define as financially stressed for a household. When affordability breaks at that level, it does not spare the nice zip codes, it just hits them more quietly. A growing number of Carmel buyers who closed on new homes in 2022 are now watching builders in their own subdivision offer the next round of buyers $30,000 in combined credits and rate buydowns, value that simply did not exist when those original buyers signed. They paid the full price entry fee. Newer arrivals are collecting the loyalty discount. If you bought a new Carmel home in 2022, here is what happened to your money. The incentive package a builder in your subdivision is currently advertising to new buyers $10,000 to $30,000 in combined rate, buydowns, design center credits, and closing cost coverage represents real purchasing power. Your original transaction did not include. The house looks the same from the street. The effective cost no longer is. You paid full price for a Carmel home in 2022. Your neighbor bought the identical floor plan 6 months ago for $30,000 less in effective value. Who made the better financial decision? Head north from the Strip through the Clark County sprawl, and you reach North Las Vegas, the entry-level edge of one of America's most watched housing markets. The streets run straight toward the Spring Mountains. The signs say, "New homes from the low 300s." The sales offices are open. The move-in date is flexible. The negotiating room is larger than the brochure suggests. But here is what the real estate agents are not showing you. According to home builders research data cited by Vegas Inc. in May of 2026, active listings across the Las Vegas Valley, which includes North Las Vegas, reached 8,100 units in the first quarter of 2026. That is up 55.8% from 5,200 just 1 year earlier. North Las Vegas, as the valley's most price-sensitive submarket, is absorbing a disproportionate share of that unsold inventory, while simultaneously competing with newer builder communities opening at comparable price points. The cause is straightforward. Builders pulled 9,734 permits in the Las Vegas Valley in all of 2025, the lowest total since 2016. They recognized the oversupply. But the homes already in the pipeline kept delivering into a market where the buyers who could have absorbed them had walked away when mortgage rates crossed 6.5% and refused to come back down. A growing number of North Las Vegas buyers who purchased entry-level new construction between 2021 and 2023 are now attempting resale and finding they are competing directly against new builds at comparable price points with full builder incentive packages attached. You cannot out-discount a builder on their own product. And right now in this valley, the builder is discounting. If you bought a new North Las Vegas home near the peak, here is what happened to your money. Active listing inventory in your market has risen more than 55% in under 12 months, according to home builders' research. When supply increases that sharply and demand does not follow, only one thing happens to the resale value of a home that is no longer new. If builders are shrinking floor plans, cutting finishes, and still struggling to sell, what does that tell you about where prices in this market are actually heading? Drive southeast from the Strip, through the master-planned communities, and you reach Henderson, Nevada's second-largest city, and for years one of the most desirable new construction addresses in the American West. The medians are landscaped. The HOA signs are freshly painted. The model homes at Cadence and Inspirada are open 7 days a week. They have been open 7 days a week for longer than the builder expected. But here is what the real estate agents are not showing you. According to Vegas Inc., reporting from May 12, 2026, KB Home recently opened Meriden, a 940-home master-planned community in Henderson, with starting prices from the mid-300s. 940 new homes. Dropped into one announcement. Into a market where, according to Home Builders Research, active listings are already up 55.8% year over year. And more than 65% of all new home builders across the Las Vegas Valley are currently running active incentive programs, the highest rate since the 2018 to 2019 down cycle, according to the same report. Henderson's problem is structural. The master-planned community model requires scale builders commit to hundreds of homes before the first buyer signs. When the rate environment shifts mid-build, the commitment does not disappear. The homes have to move. And 940 new competitors landing in your submarket changes the pricing equation for every resale listing in the zip code. A growing number of Henderson buyers who purchased in 2022 and 2023 are now attempting to list for resale in a market that has been directly flooded by new inventory at aggressive price points. Communities like Inspirada and Cadence are seeing active builder promotions that did not exist 18 months ago. The original buyers were not offered those terms. Every new transaction in their neighborhood is. If you bought a new Henderson home in 2022 or 2023, here is what happened to your money. KB Home's 940-home Meriden development is selling comparable product from the mid-300s, with active incentives included. That is 940 direct competitors to your eventual resale listing, all backed by a national builder's marketing budget and willingness to negotiate. KB Home just dropped 940 new homes into your market. That is 940 direct competitors to your resale. How does that math work in your favor? Fly into Las Vegas at night, and the valley floor glows like a circuit board, the Strip, the towers, and radiating outward in every direction, the grid of new subdivisions that made this desert the most watched new construction market in America. During the boom years, builders could not keep up. Buyers camped overnight for lot releases. Waitlists ran 6 months. The desert was the hottest real estate market on earth. But here is what the real estate agents are not showing you. According to Home Builders Research data cited by Vegas Inc. on May 12, 2026, the median closing price on a brand new Las Vegas home fell to $502,990, In March of 2026, down 5.1% from the same month 1 year earlier. Builders pulled 9,734 permits, in all of 2025 the lowest total since 2016. They are not building less because demand is satisfied. They are building less because they cannot move what they already built. The root cause is a convergence that played out in slow motion. Builders committed to mass construction at the bottom of the rate cycle. Rates then more than doubled and held. The California migration that had supercharged Las Vegas demand slowed sharply by 2025. And 65% of all new home builders in the Valley, according to Vegas Inc., are currently offering active incentive packages, a rate not seen since the market softened in 2018 and 2019. A growing number of Las Vegas buyers who closed between 2021 and 2023 are now sitting on properties they cannot sell above purchase price, while watching the builder next door close deals that include $15,000 design center credits and 1-point mortgage rate buydowns. You bought when builders held every card. The deck has been reshuffled. If you bought a new Las Vegas home in 2022, here is what happened to your money. According to home builders' research data, the median new home closing price has already declined 5.1% year over year, and that does not include the $15,000 or more in active buyer incentives that your resale listing cannot match. Your equity is narrower than the statement says, and the gap is still moving. Las Vegas builders only pulled the lowest number of permits since 2016 last year, and they are still struggling to sell what they already built. So, where exactly does that leave the person who bought at the peak? Drive into Indianapolis on a clear Midwest morning, and the city meets you with the steady, purposeful energy of America's unsung capital monument, Circle the Speedway, and spreading outward in every direction, the neighborhoods and subdivisions that led Zillow to name Indianapolis the most buyer-friendly metro in America for 2026. But here is what Zillow did not tell you about what buyer-friendly actually means. According to Atom's first quarter 2026 foreclosure market report, one of the most authoritative foreclosure data sources in the United States, Indiana recorded the highest foreclosure rate in the entire country. 1 in every 739 homes in this state is in some stage of a foreclosure filing. The same state, Zillow, crowned most buyer-friendly. The most buyer-friendly metro in America has the highest foreclosure rate in America. Those two facts share the same streets. Here is the mechanism. According to the Indiana Business Research Center, homeownership costs in the Indianapolis metro reached 36% of median household income by September 2025, crossing the 30% threshold that economists define as financially stressed for a household. At the same time, Indiana is the second highest state in the country for new home price reductions. 23.3% of all new listings already marked down, according to Realtor.com's February 2026 new construction report. Builders discounting, existing owners defaulting, both happening simultaneously in the same market. According to Atom's first quarter 2026 report, lenders across the United States repossessed 14,020 properties in the first quarter, alone a 45% surge compared to the same period the year before. Indiana contributed a disproportionate share of that figure. These are not notices of default. These are completed repossessions, real families, real addresses, in the market that a national real estate platform just called the best place in America to buy a home. If you bought a new Indianapolis home in 2022, here is what happened to your money. According to Realtor.com data, 23.3% of new home listings in Indiana already carry a price reduction. Builders in Hendricks County are currently offering $10,000 to $30,000 in effective incentives to new buyers. And the state's foreclosure rate, 1 in every 739 homes, means distressed sales are now actively competing with your resale listing on price. The pressure is coming from every direction, from above, from below, and from next door. Zillow named Indianapolis the most buyer-friendly metro in America. Your state just posted the highest foreclosure rate in the country. Which one of those facts matters more to your net worth? That is the list. 10 markets, 4 states, 1 pattern. From Charlotte to Indianapolis, from Rogers to Henderson builders who spent 4 years confidently raising prices are now in the business of negotiating them down. Realtor.com made it official in April of 2026. This is the first time in recent history that new construction price cuts have become a national trend, not a local anomaly. But here is the deeper question this data raises. If builders, the most sophisticated, best capitalized players in the residential market, are cutting prices, offering rate buydowns, and shrinking floor plans to move product, what does that tell you about where they think this market is actually heading? They do not discount out of generosity. They discount because the math forced them to. If you have been sitting on the sidelines over the past 3 years, watching people around you buy in markets like these, wondering if you were wrong to wait, this data is your answer. You were not wrong to wait. The market is now arriving at the position you held 2 years ago. The question is no longer whether you should have waited. The question is what comes next. Leave a comment below. Which of these 10 markets surprised you the most? And if you are watching from one of these cities, tell us what you are seeing on the ground. The numbers tell one story, your street tells another. If you found this useful, subscribe. We do this every week.